Okay, I think I'm unmuted. Yeah? Can
Yeah.
you hear me? Yeah, good. I feel really touched and strangely just so moved to see all of you and um, here in my home. And you're all in your homes. There's something about that that just feels so powerful to me that we can connect on this level. So, anyway, I'm so grateful to Georgina for inviting me. Um, I love Georgina, so when she invites me, I say yes, if I can. And I'm so grateful to all of you for showing up. Um, Practicing pranayama is just such a, oh, it's especially right now, it's so crucial. It's such a foundational practice. So I'm very, very happy that we get to practice some pranayama together this morning. And it's wonderful that we have such a wide range of people here from uh, beginners to teachers because you'll see pranayamas for everybody. It doesn't have to be complicated at all. In fact, I've been practicing pranayama, I guess, for about 50 years now. And I've done many of the complicated ones. And what I practice right now are the very simple ones, because I find the simple practices are the best for me. And especially right now, with so much going on in the world, to turn to something basic and simple is so steadying and relaxing and grounding and will reconnect you with yourself. So we'll just do very simple practice this morning, and if ever you're feeling agitated, just stop and do whatever you want. But I'll just talk you through basically my favorite practice. I just want to say a little bit about watching the breath. In many languages, the word for breath and spirit is the same word. So when we turn our attention towards breath, we're actually turning towards spirit. And when we're breathing in, we're embodying spirit, which is so powerful. The Dalai Lama, when he was asked, what is the meaning of life? First he laughed, and then he said, the meaning of life is to embody spirit. So here we are receiving breath, receiving spirit. It's inspiring, right? Inspiring. We inspire, we expire. Sometimes we even conspire, which I just realized this morning it kind of lends a whole new meaning to conspiracy theories. Because when we conspire, we're truly, we could be just breathing together. And so breathing together, like we're going to be doing this morning, is actually really powerful. Like we all breathe together. We all breathe. It's it's something that interconnects us. So yeah, let's just get to know our breath and keep it really simple, as if the breath were your friend, that you wanted to get to know your friend. Your breath is your friend. So we'll begin sitting. If you can find a comfortable position and feel what part of your body is resting on earth, how the earth receives you here in this place, in your home. so that you can feel steady in your body. If you're comfortable, you can softly close your eyes. And this practice that I'm about to share with you, it's a practice that I myself do almost every day. It's a practice that I learned from Thich Nhat Hanh, who actually adapted it from the Buddha. So this breathing practice has come straight from the Buddha, and it will bring you into a place of ease and well-being. So all I'd like you to do is begin by listening to your breath. And you don't have to change it at all. In fact, please don't change your breath. Just notice. Is your breath fast? Is your breath slow? Does it feel smooth or does it start and stop? Can you feel your breath inside your body? Can you notice how your breath enters your body and how it is released? Nothing to change, simply letting your breath breathe your body, just like water washes up onto the earth and then releases back. Simply allowing the breath to wash over your body. Now, as you're inhaling, simply notice that you're inhaling. And as you're exhaling, simply notice that you're exhaling. I often say to myself silently, as I inhale, I know that I'm inhaling. And as I exhale, I know that I am exhaling. If you say those words to yourself, that helps you stay focused with the movement of the breath. Say, as I inhale, I know now that I'm inhaling. As I exhale, I know now that I am exhaling. At your own rhythm. And if you find yourself lost in a thought, that's fine. Just gently bring your attention back as I'm inhaling. I know that I'm inhaling. As I exhale, I know that I am exhaling. And naturally, as you begin to let your attention rest with your breath, the inhalation will begin to deepen, and your exhalation will begin to slow. Allowing the inhalation to get a little deeper in your belly, and the exhalation to softly float up and out. The inhalation naturally deepening, the exhalation just naturally slowing. As the inhalation deepens, your body begins to calm. And as the exhalation slows, your mind begins to ease. It happens naturally. You don't do it. It's a gift that you receive as you watch the inhalation deepen. Your body begins to grow calm. And as you watch the exhalation slow, your mind begins to rest. As your inhalation deepens and the body begins to grow calm, feeling like a soft smile spreads throughout your body. As the inhalation deepens, a soft smile spreads everywhere. As the exhalation slows and the mind rests, a feeling of well-being settles. As you come into this precious moment, just here, the body quieting, the mind at ease, simply being here, nowhere else could be better than this precious moment of your life. Gratefully receiving this breath. And when it's time to let it go, allowing it to let go. So from this very inward and quiet place, I'd like you now to just lie down on your mat. So moving very slowly without it all disturbing your inner focus. Find a place where you can rest. Allowing your back body to soften, almost melting back into the earth, as if you were resting on your favorite beach in warm sand. The earth receiving you, the earth remembering you. The back body opening to receive the front body, opening like an embrace, so that your heart can rest and your breath can grow a bit deeper and a bit slower. Kabir, one of my favorite mystical poets, wrote about 700 years ago, "Open the window to the west and disappear into the air inside you. Near your breastbone, there is an open flower. Drink the nectar that is all around that flower. Waves are coming in, the waves of the breath. There is so much magnificence near the ocean. Listen. Sound of big seashells, sounds of bells." Kabir says, "Listen, friend, this is what I have to say. The guest I love is inside me." Simply listen to your breath now. Notice the sound of the inhalation and the sound of the exhalation. It has a big sound, like the sound when you listen to a seashell, when you put the seashell to your ear. Let the sound of the breath cradle your body and cradle your mind. Now lightly draw your attention back to the movement of the breath. Noticing the fullness of the inhalation. How the inhalation covers the body evenly like a gentle, warm rain soaking into the earth, absorbing the inhalation into all the cells of your body to renew yourself on this subtle pranic level, embodying the inspiration. And with the expiration, allowing yourself to empty completely. The exhalation floating up into the sky, just like the mist rises from the lake and dissolves into the sky and disappears into the infinite. With every exhalation, what was inside you disappears and rejoins the infinite. Every breath, your connection between the earth, this body, and the sky, the universal spirit. Inhaling deeply into the fullness of your soul, of your body, and exhaling completely into the universal spirit, where we're all one. Now, very gradually, let the next few breaths awaken you fully into this precious moment, noticing how the inhalation swirls around the delicate tissues of your lungs and flows out with ease, bathing yourself in this healing, relaxed breath, this place of well-being. Allow this feeling to be a body memory so you can return here at any time because it's inside you. It's your nature. It's what you are. It's your connection with spirit. And you can come back here anytime simply by following your breath. Slowly begin to feel aware of your body resting on the floor, its depth, its length, its width. Move your hands, your feet, lengthen out, allowing the vital energy to flow through this beautiful, beautiful body, embodying breath fully and gratefully. And when you feel ready, very slowly roll onto your right side and let yourself rest here for a few more breaths, simply savoring the joy of resting here on earth. No one to be, nothing to do, nowhere to go. Just this moment. And again, know this is a place you can return at any moment. Simply by disappearing into the air inside you. Turn now a bit more towards the earth with gratitude for her support, with gratitude for your practice this morning, and then use the strength of your arms to support you back up to sitting, returning to a balanced and grounded sitting position. Sitting in such a way that the air can flow freely. Where your inhalation opens you in all directions like a radiant sun. And with your exhalation, you can feel your connection with all that's above, as well as all that's below the body, this radiant channel of life energy, of pure love. Notice the quality of your breath now. One more teaching from Kabir. Are you looking for me? I am in the next seat. My shoulder is against yours. You will not find me in stupas, not in Indian shrine rooms, nor in synagogues, nor in cathedrals, not in masses, nor in kirtans, not in legs winding around your own neck, nor in eating nothing but vegetables. When you really look for me, you will see me instantly. You will find me in the tiniest house of time. Kabir says, student, tell me, what is God? She is the breath inside the breath.
Thank you, Karuna.
Namaste. Namaste.
Namaste.
Whenever if you feel anxious or upset or confused or disconnected, or or not only when you feel bad, just let it be a regular practice so that you have this foundation and you know the path back to this place that you're feeling right now, because it's right here inside you, right in your own home. So, yeah, thank you for being willing. Thank you so much, Georgina, for inviting me. And I also, would just like to invite you all to on Saturday the 13th at 9, we'll be doing a longer practice that will have more asana and pranayama in it. So if you'd like to join for that, you're welcome to, and just send me an email and I'll register you. So thank you and namaste. And now I'd love to do some restorative with you, Georgina.
Okay.
I've been looking forward to this.
Awesome. I'm just going to put myself back onto, so I'll pin myself so you guys can see me. We're going to stay seated. I'm just going to move to my mat. So if you have a blanket, it helps to sit up on a blanket. It helps from that way you're not rounding your back when you're coming into forward fold. So with our therapeutic restore today, we're taking time to notice our knees, sending the knees some love. So this is going to be really nourishing and beautiful for the knees. So if you have a blanket you can sit up on, that would be great. And let's lengthen our feet out. Just lengthen those legs out in front of you. Take a moment to give those knees a nice massage, sending them some love. And we will come into some more restorative postures. And we're coming into our first one, which will be a forward fold, which is really beautiful for when you're feeling anxious. It helps really nourish the nervous system. And let's draw those toes back towards us just for a moment. And just notice if you need a little something under the knees, you can take the bolster or roll a blanket underneath. And I just want to root us down a little bit here. So notice the sit bones on the earth. You can take the fingertips or the palms to the mat. Lengthening through the spine. Notice if you can lift through the tips of the ears. So imagine that you're being lifted up. Feel this nice lengthening through the cervical spine. Crown of head opens and shines up towards the sky. Maybe you got nice blue skies today, cloudy skies, whatever that is. And allow the feet to relax now. Point the toes forward. And let's scrunch the toes and then open the toes. Just getting into the bottom of the feet a little bit. And we'll also work with opening the hips. So we know that whatever we don't deal with in our feet and our hips, our knees will pay for. We want to be really kind to each part of our body. From here, we need our bolster, or if you have a blanket or blocks, you're going to come into a straddle, but this is more of a therapeutic straddle with your knees bent. The bolster is going to come in front of you. And sitting up again nice and tall, you can hinge forward, just placing your forehead on the bolster or on the blocks. Also, you can use a chair. So if you don't have a bolster, you can use a chair. And if this feels okay, you can stay here. If you would rather come into a more traditional wide-legged straddle, please go there. You guys are all yogis. You'll feel more of a lengthening through the hamstrings. You can keep the feet active, noticing where you can come to. Just a nice natural curve of the spine. Not worrying about the words such as flat back or rounding. Just allow it to be really natural. And then allow those feet to just gently relax. And as you have your head resting on the bolster or block, maybe some of you come down a little lower. So feeling where your body wants to go. Our bodies are wise. They know what we can do, where our edges. And as Karuna spoke to, just come back to your breath. Notice if the breath can help you soften into this restorative practice. And knowing that the mind likes to jump around just as puppies do. Just coming back to the breath. One thing that stands out for me when Karuna's husband Paul does meditations, sometimes he'll bring in a cue, which is I'm thinking, but now I'm breathing. Now I'm breathing. And softening into the pose. Stay here for 5 breaths. Noticing the in-breath. Noticing the out-breath. Knowing that quiet is good for the soul. Few more breaths here. And pressing down through the palms of the hands, taking the bolster away from the forehead. Just come up to seated and bring your feet into our bound angle pose. Just bringing it a little bit more forward, more of a diamond shape. And just bring the knees up, do a little bit of movement here, working into massaging the hip joint. So a nice short practice today, a restorative. And take this bolster or your pillows. I'm gonna lay it in front of you here. So option also to take some blocks underneath if you want to lift up the bolster a little bit higher. And this is a seated forward fold. So sometimes when we do child's pose with a bolster, it's really hard on our knees. So today, with our focus about nurturing the knees, you can come forward here to come to lay down on your bolster. Or if you feel that you would like to come into the child's pose, supported child's pose, you can also go there. But everyone try this nice seated forward fold. So sometimes we have to build the floor up to us. So maybe sometimes that's taking extra cushions or pillows or whatever that is underneath the body so you can build the height up. Bringing your right or left ear down to the bolster or your pillows and see if you can wiggle those hips back. Sinking down into the hips. So we're getting a nice, beautiful release into the side of the glute. Into the back body, mid back. Bringing yourself back to that breath. Notice if you can widen the fingers on the mat. Releasing down to the earth. And softening with each breath. Take a deep inhale, or maybe I should say receive the inhale, inhaling through the nose. And exhale through the mouth. Melting down. And stay here for 5 breaths. See if you can notice the breath coming into the backside of the lungs. Broadening through the back body. And deepening the inhales. Taking a moment to slowly rise. So we go in and out of the poses mindfully with ease, taking your time to come up to seated. Sit up nice and tall, just taking a moment in between poses here. And take a moment to slowly turn around. So we have our bolster or pillows already set up on our mat. For anyone who has any back issues, let's take a blanket underneath the sit bones. You're going to turn towards the spine's going to come up against the lumbar spine's coming up against the bolster. And you can also take pillows or blocks to come under our knees. We're coming into heart bed pose. So laying down onto your bolster, feel this beautiful opening through the heart. Palms can face up towards the sky. And a couple of options here for your legs. So you can lengthen them out as I'm doing here. You can come into more of a constructive rest, so allowing the knees to be bent. Feet are resting on the mat. And if you want a beautiful opening, just bring in the soles of the feet together, letting those knees open wide. And I do recommend, if you have extra pillows or blankets, placing those underneath the thighs. Sorry, I'm fighting a cold here. And just bringing these under the thighs so you can feel completely supported. Sometimes that means even taking something underneath the elbows. If you have an eye pillow, you can place that over top of your eyes. And notice the soles of the feet as they rest upon each other. Notice the right sole of the foot connecting with the left sole of the foot. Soften the belly. And notice your breath here again. As you inhale, you will notice that the belly rises, ribs expand, your heart melts down to the earth. And as you exhale, your heart floats upon your beautiful breath. Your ribs soften. And the belly gently comes back to kiss the spine. Relax through the back body. Your eyes can be closed or just a gentle gaze. And once again, we come to rest, to nourish, release, and restore. I'm going to stay here for a few minutes. Just come into this quiet stillness. This pose is so beautiful and nourishing to our body. And restorative yoga is so precious and to be cherished. Taking this time to really truly rest. Knowing the mind will wander, and that's okay. Our minds will never completely be empty. And just recognizing these thoughts. You can stay here for 2 more minutes. Noticing the in-breath and the out-breath. Noticing if you're holding tension, maybe breathing into the space of tension. And using the breath as your anchor. So whether that's imagining your breath rising and falling, or just sending that breath to areas of tension. And anytime you feel like you want to lengthen your legs out, just taking that time to do what you need in this moment. Let's take 3 more breaths here. And then take the hands to the outer edges of the thighs and draw the knees together. Bring the feet as wide as your mat. And just come into some side to side windshield wipers. Just releasing the hips. Pressing down through the feet. And roll to your right side. And then slowly make your way to your right hip. If you're feeling that you want to stay in a particular pose, I welcome you to stay. In our next pose, we're doing a supported twist. So bringing your knees together here. Your right hip will be up against your bolster. You're turning the front body towards the bolster and just coming down to laying on the bolster. So you can keep the block underneath, or you can remove it if you would like to come down a little bit further to the floor, further to the earth, just melting down. And coming into this supported twist. So right ear is on the bolster, front body fully supported, elbows resting on the mat, knees are bent. Closing the eyes. And as you rest here, I'd like to read to you from Karuna's book. on heart yoga. And this is such a beautiful message and so suiting for the times that we're going through, which is the message from the Hopi elders. So just listening to these words as you rest in the supported twist. We have been telling the people that this is the 11th hour. Now you must go back and tell people this is the hour. And there are things to be considered. Where are you living? What are you doing? What are your relationships? Are you in the right relation? Where is your water? Know your garden. It is time to speak your truth and create your community. Be good to one another. And do not look outside yourself for the leader. This could be a good time. There is a river flowing now very fast. It is so great and swift that there will be those who are afraid. They will try to hold on to the shore. They will feel they are being torn apart and they will suffer greatly. Know the river has its destination. The elders say we must let go of the shore and push off into the river. Keep our eyes open and our heads above water. See who is there with you and celebrate. At this time in history, we are to take nothing personally, least of all ourselves. For the moment we do, our spiritual growth and journey comes to a halt. The time of the lone wolf is over. Gather yourselves. Banish the word struggle from your attitude and your vocabulary. All that you do now must be done in the sacred manner and in celebration. We are the ones we have been waiting for. The Hopi elders remind us what must be done in a sacred way in celebration. And this is especially true as we take time to self-care and self-love, support each other in community. So we will take a moment here, if you feel ready, to slowly transition to the other side, knowing that it's perfectly fine to stay here, but also so beautiful to balance out the other side. So pressing down through the hands, slowly making your way up to seated. Taking the left hip to the bolster. Again, walking the front body down. Knees are bent. Left ear comes to the bolster. So transitioning as quietly and mindfully as you can. Coming back to rest. Coming back to restoring and nourishing. Letting go of struggle. And once again, coming back to that beautiful yogi breath. We will stay here for 5 breaths. In through the nose and out through the nose. Receiving and relaxing. And after this 5th breath, I invite you to transition either into Shavasana or coming up to seated into contemplation pose. So seated as if you're going into a meditation. We have been on the mat for quite a while. So sometimes I feel instead of laying flat on my mat, I like to come up to seated. But again, listening to the wisdom of your own body. Noticing what you need to do in this moment. So if you're coming into Shavasana, it is lengthening out on your mat. You can place a bolster underneath your knees, cover yourself in a blanket. And if you decide to come to seated, just taking that time to make a little nest for yourself. So whether you're sitting on a bolster, whatever that is for you, you can wrap a shawl around your shoulders. And come back to your natural breath. Close the eyes. So notice if you're holding tension in the forehead, and release this tension in the forehead. Open the mouth a little bit and wiggle the jaw from side to side, relaxing the jaw. And even bringing the tongue up to the soft palate at the top of the mouth. You can take a swallow, a deep swallow to relax the throat. And then notice your tender heart as it rests upon this earth and your breath. Relax the belly. Relax the hips, the thighs, and the knees. You bring this awareness to the shins and each toe. And noticing the parts of the body that rest on your mat. Rest upon this earth where spring is trying to bring in new life. So little seeds that come into sprouts. Just as we do with yoga, we plant seeds that help us bring this practice out into the world around us. Rest here, dear one. Om Namo Gurudev, Gurudev Namo, Namo. Om Namo Gurudev, Gurudev Namo, Namo. Om Namo Gurudev Namo, Om Namo Gurudev Namo, Om Namo Gurudev Namo, Namo Gurudev Namo, Om Namo Gurudev, Gurudev Namo, Namo. Taking this moment to slowly come to a place of awakening, making small movements, rocking the head from side to side, wiggling the fingers and the toes. Stretching out, maybe stretching out into a nice good morning stretch. So slowly transitioning. When you feel ready, rolling to your right side. And if you're seated, just beginning the same movements. As you turn towards the earth again, pressing down through the palms, you slowly make your way up to seated. Bring your hands into Anjali mudra at your heart center and close the eyes. And let's hook the thumbs together and bring the fingers wide, coming into our eagle mudra. This is such a beautiful mudra which brings in balance, grace, and also resilience, a graceful resilience. Once again, bringing hands to Anjali Mudra. We'll end our practice with one single Om. You can practice with me or simply listen. Eyes are closed. Gently bring the chin towards your gentle heart. We will inhale and Om together. Inhaling. Om. From my heart to each of your beautiful yogi hearts. I honor and cherish you each. And thank you for coming to this new world of yoga from your home into my home. And as Karuna says, coming home to our bodies. Namaste. So thank you, everyone. We ran a little bit over. If you would like to unmute and share anything, please do so. I also understand if you have to go. It's a long time to dedicate for yourself, which is so incredibly important. And Karuna, is there anything you would like to add?
Oh, I just feel so grateful to you, Georgina. This was just a beautiful practice, and thank you for gathering us together and for your gentle guidance. It's beautiful.
Thank you, Karuna. I learned from the best. Thank you.